Right now, if something breaks inside your mind, there's a system waiting for you. A phone number, a clinic, a diagnosis, a name for what you're feeling, and a protocol for what happens next. You might not use it, you might not trust it, but it exists. Now, take all of that away. No doctor, no hospital, no medication, no language for what mental illness even is. No framework that separates sick mind from dangerous person, from chosen by spirits. Just a group of 30 people trying to survive. And one of them is no longer okay. What do you do? The easy assumption is brutality. That prehistoric life was too harsh for anything as abstract as mental health care. That someone who broke, who stopped functioning, who became unpredictable, would simply be left behind, abandoned, expelled. It's a reasonable assumption. It fits the story we tell about the ancient world, red in tooth and claw, every person for themselves. But the bones tell a different story. And bones, unlike assumptions, don't lie. In 1908, in a cave in southwestern France called La Chapelle-aux-Saints, archaeologists uncovered a Neanderthal skeleton that should not have existed. The man was old, between 40 and 50 years old, in a world where most individuals didn't survive past 30. He had no teeth, gone for years, long enough for the bone of his jaw to have fully resorbed. He had severe arthritis in his spine, his hip, and his leg. He walked with difficulty, if he walked at all. He had a degenerative joint disease that would have made independent food gathering nearly impossible. He was, by every metric of prehistoric survival, a liability. And yet, he lived. For years. Someone chewed his food for him. Someone kept him warm. Someone made sure he didn't fall behind. In a world with no surplus, no agriculture, no stored resources, a group of Neanderthals decided he was worth keeping alive. That decision cost them something real. The old man of La Chapelle-aux-Saints is not unique. He is one entry in a pattern archaeologists have found across dozens of sites spanning hundreds of thousands of years. A young Neanderthal in Shanidar Cave, Shanidar 1, had a withered right arm, a fused knee, and was blind in one eye. The injuries were old, healed. He had survived. At Romedo in Italy, a young human from 10,000 years ago showed severe hormonal disorder limiting his ability to hunt. He lived into young adulthood, fed by others. At every turn, the archaeological record says the same thing. Early humans took care of people who couldn't take care of themselves.
Physical disability is one thing, but mental illness is different. When someone's mind stops working, when they become erratic, volatile, disconnected, the group faces something it cannot see. And that is terrifying in a way that a broken leg is not. Researchers studying contemporary hunter-gatherer societies have documented consistent responses to mental illness. The pattern is not isolation. It is integration, containment, and meaning-making. Among the Juhuansi of the Kalahari, individuals who showed signs of severe mental distress were watched, kept close, assigned roles that matched their current capacity. When someone became erratic, the group restructured around the disruption, rather than eliminating the source of it. In a group of 30 people, losing one person to expulsion is a real loss. Every person is labor, knowledge, memory, and kinship. You don't discard that lightly. They gave the disruption a name, a framework, a place inside the cosmology of the group. The oldest surgical procedure ever documented in human history is trepanation, the deliberate drilling of a hole into a living person's skull. The oldest confirmed example is 10,000 years old. Many of the skulls show healing around the wound. These people survived the procedure. Some of them lived for years afterward with a permanent hole in their head. Across 10,000 years of separated human cultures, the response to a mind that had broken was not abandonment. It was intervention, an attempt to fix it, to bring the person back.
Ancient spiritual belief gave the suffering a name. Not a clinical name, but a name that said, something is happening to you. It is not simply you. Anthropologist Arthur Kleinman found consistently that the meaning a culture assigns to suffering affects the course of that suffering, not metaphorically, measurably. They had community that refused to let you disappear. The modern system is the most sophisticated response to mental illness that has ever existed. The pharmacology is real, the neuroscience is real, but the isolation is also real. The average person experiencing a mental health crisis waits weeks for an appointment and then goes home, alone, to an apartment in a building full of strangers who don't know their name. The Juhuansi had 30 people who watched you every day, who knew when you changed, who restructured before it became a crisis. The old man of La Chapelle-aux-Saints had someone chewing his food. You have a copay and a cancellation policy. Humans consistently, repeatedly, across species and continents and thousands of years, chose to keep the broken ones. Not always, not without conflict, but as a pattern so strong, it shows up in the bones. The default human response to a mind that broke was not to look away, it was to move closer. So, the next time you wake up at 3 a.m., with the weight of something you can't name sitting on your chest, know that this is not new. Every human group that has ever existed has had someone who felt exactly what you are feeling right now. They were watched. They were kept close. They were given a name for what was happening to them. They were not abandoned. Because the humans around them understood, without research, without clinical language, that a mind in distress is still a mind worth staying near. You were never supposed to carry this alone. That's not weakness. That's 300,000 years of evidence.